Those keywords, you get them every hour between 9:30 and 5:30 on MMS. Guardians are back tonight. Well, they're back in Chicago. They're back playing baseball, which they were born to do. Each and every one of those guys and your Cleveland Guardians, whether they are a greenhorn rookie or a seasoned veteran, you ask them, hey, what is your favorite thing in the world to do? And they will usually say, in some kind of ethnic lilt, baseball is my favorite thing to do. It is what I was born to do. And so your Cleveland Guardians, who knows if there'll be some kind of 226th birthday celebration at Guaranteed Rate Field.
They said they're going to win 226 games in a row. That's how they're going to celebrate.
That sounds like a good idea.
That is a
said.
fantastic
It's a good
idea. There you go. Kind of the anti-Marlins, if you will. Mm-hmm. So Guardians at White Sox tonight. Both teams are practically neck and neck. I mean, well, they are neck and neck. White Sox are exactly 500, and the Guardians have a couple fewer losses. So it'll be a good first of four tonight. They do a doubleheader tomorrow, and then they'll wrap it up on Sunday. But you will hear it here tonight. First pitch at 8:10 on WMMS. Your FM home for Cleveland Guardians baseball. Chicago, of course, also home of Walgreens. And the next time that you are in Walgreens, when I was a kid, they weren't all over the place. Now they've been all over the place for a long, long time. But if you are in a Walgreens, just make sure that if you need to buy condoms there, that you ask if they have an atheist on staff. Because a woman in Wisconsin went into a Walgreens and the person behind the counter wouldn't sell her condoms because of their religious beliefs, which again, Walgreens allows their employees to do this. This isn't somebody going rogue. So I guess you have to hope that there's an atheist on staff. I don't know when the last time you were in a Walgreens. You're lucky if there's two people working at all in a Walgreens at any given time. There's like one lady stocking the disposable cameras, but she's also doing the pharmacy, and then she's also stocking the makeup aisle, and then she got to run up and check you out. I'm like, all I have here is a pan of, I don't know what I got, but I'm standing here and I got something and I need you to check me out. So this person, the woman was like, what do you mean you can't sell these to me? I'm here to buy condoms. I'm trying to patronize your store. And the person said that they had religious objections to selling the condoms. The woman went, she forgot her birth control. This is a woman and her husband or boyfriend or something, and they're on vacation. This is in Wisconsin. And she forgot her birth control. You gals and forgetting your birth control. I would think that that would be the number one thing in your mind at all times.
Yeah.
I know it is for you. Mm-hmm. At all times.
But there are times when, like, my birth control alarm will go off at 1:50, and if I'm doing something or whatever in the bathroom, and then I'm like, oh, I'll take it as soon as I get out of the bathroom, and then I'll get back and I'll forget. And you take it like an hour later or whenever you remember.
But that's minutes away.
Yeah.
It's not a day later.
No, I almost always remember day of. Like, the other day, last week sometime, it was like 8 o'clock at night, and I was sitting there, and I was like, oh, I forgot to take my birth control today, and then you got to go pop it in real quick.
Mm-hmm. But so they went to the cashier, and he said that he would not ring up the condoms because of his faith. She said that the employee embarrassed her in front of other customers because of her reproductive choices. Now, this is the other thing, too. I don't know why anybody over the age of 15 years old is embarrassed by condoms. Whether people are behind you or not, who cares?
What does his faith have to do with her using condoms?
Well, that's nothing.
I can't
nothing at all. I was surprised to
thing.
hear that Walgreens, usually when this happens, you know, my head explodes because I'm like, look, just do your job. But Walgreens lets their employees do this. They go, look, it's in the employee handbook. I would just say, can I just wear it out of the store? How about that, right? I see that you don't have fitting rooms here. Just walk out with a box of condoms. Oh, I tried to buy them and you wouldn't sell them to me. So I guess I'll just take them. Slap some money on the counter.
I worked at a restaurant, and let me preface this before I get angry emails. This is at the restaurant I worked at, not all restaurants that have ever existed. Jesus.
Our audience loves nuance. They might be lucky enough to hear half of what you say.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then have an entire opinion on it.
But there was one girl that I worked with who was really, really religious, and a pregnant woman came in and ordered a drink, which is not illegal. A pregnant woman can order and be served a drink, but she wasn't comfortable making the alcoholic drink for her, and it turned into like a whole.
She would have had to have also made the drink. Was that a part of her thing?
Yeah, but she's a bartender, so she can make the drink.
Bartender.
No
I'm sorry,
problem. Yeah,
not a waitress. Gotcha.
No, yeah.
Right.
So she like told the manager, she's like, "Yo, I am not comfortable serving a pregnant woman alcohol. I don't believe that that's right. I don't think I should have to do it." And our manager, like, her and the manager got into a fight because he was like, "Well, she's not doing anything wrong, so you have to serve her." And she was like, "No, I don't."
Was she the only bartender on?
No, there were other people. So
she could have just said, "Fine, somebody else make it."
Right, but I mean, she wanted to make it known that she didn't find that right. I don't think she ever said anything to the woman or anything like that. But
isn't that a good way? When you get into it with management like that, you're going to find out that you're starting to get all of a sudden fewer shifts. Mm-hmm. It's so weird. I don't know. I mean, I'm good at my job. What did I do?
Yeah. But I mean, a similar moral compass type of thing.
So the manager at Walgreens, nothing that they're going to get in trouble for because they are allowed to do it per Walgreens policy. But I'm like, man, if you walk in there, if that's what you're going to buy, you have to hope that they have someone on staff who can. Obviously, you could go somewhere else. But this woman's in a Walgreens.
See, I don't like that because then they could go like, well, I don't believe you should be able to buy this candy. It's my belief.
You know what? Step on this scale, please. I don't know if I'm going to sell you any candy. I just be like...
They don't even have to have them step on a scale. They just go... And it could be...
Just size them up.
Anything. You could say that about anything. So I think that's a ridiculous thing to be like, well, you can't buy condoms. Also, they don't know that they're using them for sex. They could be... doing funny YouTube videos or something where they, fill it up with water and then they drop it on their head and it slaps over their head like that.
Mm-hmm. Walgreens doesn't know if they're out of water balloons. Mm-hmm. And this person was like, well, I got to make do. I'm buying some very expensive water balloons. Yeah. I'm also doing a retro Howie Mandel type act right now up in Fond du Lac.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, Bill. Like, where's the line? Because
this is also not unprecedented. I mean, you hear these stories over the years of like a Target pharmacist who wouldn't fill someone's prescription. Or
yeah, that's ridiculous.
I grew up Pentecostal, which one of like hardcore Pentecostal women aren't allowed to wear any type of clothing that goes above the knee. So you'd have to wear dresses or full pants that go below the knee.
Too lascivious if it's above the knee.
Too lascivious. Women weren't allowed to cut their hair. Mm-hmm. Women weren't allowed to have their ears pierced. Women weren't allowed to wear makeup.
What's the thing
like
with the hair cutting?
What about their nipples?
Could they cut their nipples?
They could cut their nipples if they wanted to, I think.
But they couldn't pierce them.
But no.
Could they pierce their hair?
They could pierce their hair, cut their nipples, not cut their hair, pierce their nose.
Could they wear their hair above the knee?
They could. Actually, yeah. Unwritten rule.
All right.
They pierce the veil.
Yeah!
Sure. But what if someone's a hardcore Pentecostal working in a Walgreens and they're like, I don't sell makeup to women. I don't think women should be allowed to wear makeup. But actually, I don't sell makeup to men either because gay. So.
Because gay.
No one gets makeup here. You know what I mean? Like, where do they draw the line?
They might not be getting jobs in retail.
This lady did.
Well, this is a person who says, I don't want to sell you
this
condoms.
Guy, yeah,
this guy was like a person, I don't want to sell you condoms. You're right. I don't know where the line is, but I'm sure this person has a line.
A clothing store, and they're like, I won't sell shorts to anybody that are... You know what I mean? I won't sell any women's shorts.
Trust me, I'm doing you a favor, all right? You're too hippie for those pants. I am not going to sell you those pants. So this woman tweeted about it and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, that's pretty wild.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I wasn't surprised, quite frankly, at the person behind the counter, because, again, that's not unprecedented. I was surprised that it's part of, it's codified in Walgreens' employee thing. They're like, we like our employees to be able to... blah, blah, blah.
Well, I would go work at a Walgreens, and I'm sure they have Bibles for sale there, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know about that.
No.
Maybe. They might have, like, pocket ones.
Give them time.
But anyway, I want to work at a bookstore and be like, no, it's my belief that you shouldn't be allowed to have this Bible.
Well, because I also don't think
people from buying Bibles.
I don't think Walgreens is like Hobby Lobby. Like, Hobby Lobby is like an overtly evangelical company, right? I don't think Walgreens is like that. I'd just be like, you know what? On second thought, if my girl gets pregnant, we'll just have an abortion. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Just leave the box.
Actually,
you know what? You just did me a favor.
Thanks for that.
Don't you worry about it one bit. Sonny boy, be okay. Let me give you some money here. It's $1,000 as promised. It's a chance for you to go fuel yourself this week and next. Last couple of weeks to get this money, but there's going to be plenty of chances for you to do just that. So listen closely and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fuel yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword credit at WMMS.com. That's credit. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
How'd you like that movie last night?
I hate you so much. And also, I lost about 300 followers on Instagram today because I posted clips of that movie on my story. And I will
Why would they unfollow you for?
I will take
on your story.
On my story.
It goes away.
It goes away. Yeah. If you want to see this stupid, disgusting movie.
I recommended a movie to Mary called Song of Solomon.
You recommended it to my boyfriend. You didn't recommend it to me.
Well, to pass along to him. But wasn't I right? Not good. The acting's not good.
God, it's awful.
It's terrible.
So
but
bad.
they spent all the money on the effects, which is what I liked.
So
terrible story. It's an exorcism movie, but it's all bloody.
So we had dinner and everything, and my boyfriend's like, I'm going to finish watching this movie. I'll watch it in the front room. You go hang out in the back room and chill. But I hear him like cackling, laughing throughout the entire thing. And I'm like,
because it's so stupid and bloody.
I was like, what is going on up here? And then I go up there and he's laughing. So I'm like, okay, maybe it is that bad that it's going to be funny. But I'm watching it and I'm like, this is so gross and so stupid that I was like legitimately off put by it. And I think I might have been more aggravated at how bad it was.
Mary sent me like random texts and it took me a few minutes to realize that you guys were watching that movie.
I said, dude,
they were completely out of context. It was like,
I think the first one I sent you was, dude, demon sex scene.
Yeah, 3-minute long demon sex scene. I was like, are you okay? Are you off the wagon? But I was like, oh, she's watching that movie.
Yeah, if you want to see the clips that I posted, that demon sex scene, it's like, spoiler alert, whatever, nobody's watching this movie. This priest like loses his soul in an exorcism and then goes to a different exorcism to like, this lady has killed 5 priests and nobody can get the demon out of her or whatever. And then at one point he's like doing the power of Christ compels you and she just goes, blow on my garden. And I was like, what the hell?
It's all terrible except for the effects.
Dude, so just the way that
and you know what the worst part is? He had to pay for it.
Who did?
Brian.
Oh.
It's not free on Prime.
It's my Amazon Prime. I paid for it.
You paid $3.99 for that. You have to rent it. It's not even free on Prime.
Dude, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And so she's all like, blow on my garden. And he is like drawn to her, but he can't help that he has to blow on her garden. And he like picks up her skirt. And I look at my boyfriend, I was like, are they about to do it? Are they about to bang right now? And then it was legitimately a 3-minute awful, horrible sex scene.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. And then she was like instantly, did you listen to my story with the sound on? So my boyfriend is watching it and he's piping in and saying stuff. And when she instantly gets pregnant, he's sitting on the couch and I'm like, look at that, she's already pregnant. And my boyfriend from the couch goes, talk about super sperm.
That's right. Let's hope that movie wasn't set in Texas.
God, I hate you so much.
Did you tell him to watch a Serbian film?
Yeah, we watched the trailer for it, and he said that is not his thing.
Okay.
That, like, the torture porn kind of stuff is not really... He's into gross effects.
It's along those lines, but it's not. It's been banned in like a dozen countries.
I was saying, you've been talking about that movie since I was an intern.
It's 10 years old by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that to me is kind of like
he
the top
said he's
of the
not
heap.
into that. Like, rape scenes and...
No, I don't know about that.
I know it's a
Don't
porn
they have sex
thing,
with a
but
baby in it or something?
Something like that.
pedophiles and...
It's a whole thing. It's a retired... It's literally a Serbian movie.
Yeah.
But it's about a retired porn star who needs money for his family. And this guy comes along and goes, I'll give you a ton of money to do this movie, but you can't ask anything about it.
Yeah.
And you have to do everything I say.
Right. Well, the synopsis...
So it's not particularly pornographic, but it's just really, really gross.
The synopsis said that highlighted the 2 things were pedophilia and necrophilia. So I was just like, he's like, yeah, that's not my thing. He's like, I'll watch a priest knock up a possessed girl. Yeah, he's like, I'll watch a little demon baby come out of a stomach like Jurassic Park eggs, but I'm not gonna watch that.
But it is a terrible movie.
Oh God, it was so bad.
I didn't mislead anybody on that.
And when I walked in the first place, there was just like a conversation happening in a car between 2 priests. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is the worst acting I've ever seen in my entire life. And Brian goes, this is actually one of the best scenes that's been in the movie. Like, these are the 2 strongest. He's like, you should have seen the people that already died.
This is the one that's going up for your consideration.
I always think about
the Academy.
I always think about actors when they do movies like this. Like, if they ever become famous, that is a part of their reel. Like, you had to act in a movie like that, and if you're acting with somebody, you're like, okay, guy who's just starting out. Do agencies like bed these movies to like no one shall ever see this movie? Because
No,
I
like
got 4 stars.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 or something, The Next Generation, Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger, a whole bunch of, I think Jennifer Aniston's in it. So when these people get famous, then these awful movies get put back into rotation again.
Yeah.
So like see them before anybody knew who they were.
Yeah, they'll like reissue those movies with them on the box cover.
Prominently displayed.
They'll do the same thing with. There's a company called Troma where James Gunn, that's where he got his start.
Yeah. And
he would make these like ridiculous monster movies that were absurd and disgusting, and that's what that whole genre is.
Jennifer
It's just
Aniston was in
ridiculous
Leprechaun
stuff.
or something like
Leprechaun.
that back in the day.
So yeah, I posted that to my story with no warning. And so a bunch of people unfollowed me because I'm like, and Brian even said that. He was like, dude, your followers do not want to see this. This is not your demographic. And I was like,
follow? Like what?
because it was gross.
Well, what do they
probably.
wanna see?
I don't know. My butt, my feet.
But you're not posting your butt and your feet.
know.
Well,
People
then why are they
that's what they
following you if
stick
your butt and your
around for, just in case.
Oh, so you're just dipping in. I see.
But yeah, dude. So then, have you heard of this movie? He showed me the trailer to another movie that was also on Amazon Prime called Tusk.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
Kevin Smith.
Kevin
Long.
Smith movie. Yeah.
That's a wild movie.
Well, he said because he was
It's
like
gross.
flipping through other gross movies like that. He's like, "What do you want to watch next?" And he comes to Tusk, and we watched like the full trailer of it. And I was like, I have to see what this. I mean, it's an old movie. Anyway, this guy is like an old seaman or something.
Yeah.
He is about to drown and gets saved by a walrus. So what he does is he takes this podcaster and turns him into a walrus.
It's a Kevin Smith movie.
and it's
like a
Justin
legit.
Long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and I was like, I gotta know what he looks like as this walrus.
Oh, no,
and
you don't.
I went on YouTube, and I was like, this is so,
It's such a
disturbing.
depressing movie.
It's so disturbing.
Because the whole movie, you're like, well, surely someone will come along and save him or fix this. It's a
Nope.
You just feel gross by the end of it.
That's what Brian said. He was like,
Everybody hated it. Kevin Smith fans were like, what are you doing? What is this?
Kevin Smith has taken some big swings with some of his movies. Like, he started off in comedies, and then he goes and makes Red State, and then he makes Tusk.
I liked Red State a lot.
I thought Red
and
State
I
was
liked
great.
Tusk, but
Yeah.
nobody else did, boy.
Dude, it was so uncomfortable to look at. I only
Haley
watched
Joel Osment is in that.
I only watched the one scene of him as a walrus. Where you can put it on YouTube. Just go look. It's called "Learn to Swim" scene from Tusk, where it's the first time you see him as like a full walrus, and he's throws him into the water to try and make him learn how to swim. And I'm like, how did he do that? And Brian's like, oh, he mutilates him and sews his skin back together. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Here's my takeaway from it. What I don't like about movies like that. Now that's forever in my brain. My brain just has that information.
Didn't
now.
have to be. You sought out the scene on YouTube.
Because I had to know.
Did-
I was too curious.
I'm just saying, you played yourself, playa. You could have. They don't give away too much in that Tusk trailer.
No, they don't.
If
Not
I
at all.
recall correctly. And you were like, well, I've got to see how this ends.
I need to know what he looks like.
Yeah.
And then I watched it and I was like, I did not ever need to know what he looked like as a walrus. So, yeah, super awful, real gross. If you want to see snippets of it, Mary Santora Comedy on Instagram, but don't pay $3.99 to watch that movie.
And,
Please do not spend $4 on that.
it's the same guy in Tusk that's in Red State, Michael Parks, right?
Yes, he has since passed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in a
he
lot
was
of that
great.
great old stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I thought it was funny. That's kind of why I appreciate Kevin Smith, because he needed a hit. He did Cop Out, but famously he and Bruce Willis just butted heads. I liked Cop Out, but I think it kind of made its money back. But
And
it
he
wasn't-
directed that, but he didn't write that.
Right, wasn't a huge hit.
But that was his biggest budget film
Yes.
ever. Yeah.
And he follows it up with Tusk. Mm-hmm. You're like, this guy needs a hit, right? And he goes, I'm going to make Tusk. That was just based off one of the podcast episodes he did, I think. I don't, But they didn't even have the good sense to put Fleetwood Mac as the title theme in that movie. Mm-hmm. And that's what threw me off. I didn't care for that at all. At least give it up for the Masters, boy. Something.
So gross.
So your boyfriend did watch Tusk, or he just watched the
He
trailer?
had already seen
Oh,
Tusk.
he'd seen it.
Yeah, so he landed on it, and I was like, what is this? That's Justin Long. I like Justin Long. And he's like, not like this, you don't.
Well, you know who was under a bunch of makeup, though, in that movie? The detective was Johnny Depp.
That's what he said, too.
Yeah.
He was like, your boy's in it. And I was like, who? He's like, Johnny Depp. I was like, really?
Yep.
He's like, it's like a legit movie.
I don't know if he was credited, but he's the guy under the weird makeup.
That's another one that Song of Solomon had like 3.5 stars, which is not horrible.
That's way more than it deserves.
Right. And then that Tusk movie had like over 4.2 or something like that.
Oh, this is out of 10, not out of 5?
Out of 5.
Oh.
Well, it's because the people that are rating it are the diehard fans of it. Because
I
most people are
guess.
going to like turn it off and be like, I don't like this at all. But then you get people that are really, really into it, so they're the ones giving it 5 stars.
Oh, God, it was so gross. It was just so, like, off-putting. So off-putting. Mm-hmm. And whatever, if that's what you're into and that's what you want to watch. And he was like, now that Song of Solomon, he's like, Rob Zombie does that, but with a budget. So it actually looks good, and there's a plot. And,
plot.
Things like that. But I was like, yeah, no thanks.
I got to take a break. If you want to text for anything, 35192. You can leave us messages and listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox